Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host Jeffrey Lazarus, and you are watching Welcome to DuckTales Remastered on the Gaming Vector. DuckTales Remastered is a $15 downloadable Xbox Live Arcade title. It has already been out on, I believe, PC and PS3 for a while, and it has just come to the Xbox 360, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. Now, I have played a little bit of the game, but I haven't gotten all that far into it, so let's go ahead and take a look at what is offered up here. Now, first up, and probably the most important thing, is this hard pogo option. So, you have the option of, if you know anything about DuckTales, the gameplay, you pogo on enemies' heads in order to destroy the enemy. You also pogo in order to reach higher and higher platforms. So you can have it so that you have to press down plus X and B, or just X and or B, with A being your jump button. The only upside I can see to having it set to where you have to press down is so that you don't accidentally do it, but I haven't had too much issue with that. So let's go ahead and just jump into new game, and we'll leave it set on easy, sure. And right here, we're going to go ahead and display probably the biggest issue with DuckTales Remastered. Now, I don't have a problem with this, at the beginning of a level or in between levels. As you can see, we've got a cutscene going on right here, and unfortunately, I am unable to skip it. Now, you may be able to hear in the background, we've actually got the voice acting from the original cartoon, if you were a fan of the cartoon back in the 90s. So there is that, at least, to help out with these cutscenes. Now, the problem we have is that once we actually get into some gameplay, you'll notice that these cutscenes pop up entirely too often. So I think what has happened here is basically WayForward, the company who actually made this DuckTales Remastered, wanted to modernize it, and they did the same with Double Dragon Neon a while back. They wanted to make it a more modern game, and that is perfectly fine. The problem is, I think they went too far with the modernization, because now, breaking up the gameplay literally every couple of minutes, less than every couple of minutes, we have these cutscenes that pop up. And it's nice to see that they added a story into the game, because there wasn't really much story to begin with. But now that they've added in the story, I think they went too far with it. And the real problem with that is that it just breaks up the gameplay so much. And of course, this is a little tutorialization segment as well. But from what I have read in all of the reviews of the game, this is something that is persistent throughout the game. You're constantly being interrupted by these cutscenes and breaking up the gameplay. And for a platformer game like this, especially, something that is very, very true in its gameplay style to the original one, breaking up the actual platforming is actually really, really disappointing. I would rather just be able to play through the levels and have cutscene at the beginning or at the end. So that's really, the biggest gripe I have with the game, and it's the biggest gripe I've heard that a lot of people have with the game. As far as how it plays, the game plays real good. The platforming is solid. You see, I can land. It's real easy to control your jumps. You can change direction mid-jump. Also, the pogo works exactly like you would expect it to. Whoop. And by simply holding down X, you can continue to pogo, as long as you don't, land on, the very edge of a platform where the pogo would not be effective. Pardon me. So, from a gameplay perspective, the game is fine. It's just those damnable cutscenes. And like I say, good on them for trying to add something to the game that wasn't there and give it a story and, make it feel like an episode of the old show, because most of the people who are probably playing this are people who were fans of the show when they were a kid. So I'm okay with, basically making this a new kind of DuckTales episode, because I liked the cartoon when I was a kid too. But Like I said, I feel like they went too far with it. Also, I'm not entirely sure how to get up there. Oh, right. So, once we actually get through here... and here we can actually see the golf swing with the cane. Also a holdover from the original. I say, everything about this game is good except for the excessive cutscenes. Because there we are. It's been 2.5 minutes, I believe, roughly since the last one. And here we have another one. And like I say, if it was just at the beginning and end of the levels, I would be okay with it. But it's breaking up the gameplay too much. And they say that's real sad when the gameplay is actually really good. Not to mention the graphics are really good. The characters look like I remember them looking when I was a kid. They're bright and they're colorful. The art style's good. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about kind of the 3D looking environments with the, you know, the flat 2D characters, but I can get over that because the characters look so good. So it's just the cutscenes, man. Oh, I missed the gem. It's just the cutscenes. That's my biggest irritant with the game because everything else about it is so good, and I feel like I'm harping on it, and I probably am, but I mean, you know, this is a classic, by a lot of people considered to be a classic platformer, and say the gameplay is good. I'm happy they got the voice actors to reprise their roles. At least from what I've seen so far, all the voice actors are back. You know, they did a pretty good rendition of the old style music, but they just, when it comes down to the cutscenes, I feel like they kind of flubbed it. And that is unfortunate. But yeah, so if you're looking into DuckTales Remastered, you haven't picked it up yet, you know, we're waiting for the Xbox 360 release. I will say this. From a gameplay perspective, it is exactly what you want it to be. There we are, another 2 minutes and another cutscene, unfortunately. From a gameplay perspective, it's exactly what you want. It's gonna, or I would assume if you played the original and that's what you're looking for. From a gameplay perspective, yeah, exactly what you want. From a story perspective, like, wow, words are difficult today. It's nice to see that they added a story to it that is, you know, at least feels like it might be something worthwhile, especially if they really put some work into making the story good. But, you know, cut down with the dialogue and the cutscenes. So, while we are here... Oh, there you can actually skip the cinematic. So you have to actually open the pause menu to skip the cinematic. That is silly. So, we should be coming up to the end of the level here. We will have a boss battle, so I can show you how those work. Or at least this one in particular. And then hopefully we'll, assuming we complete it, which... say hopefully we will. This is actually the furthest I made it in the game up to this point. Now, see this scene right here where he's having the back and forth with the kind of... what's the word I'm looking for? With the boss of the level, essentially. Like, that I'm entirely okay with. Plus, I like the design there. They give you the chance to try and pop on him while he's got the helmet on, which will, you know, teach you that, hey, that's not going to work against this guy. You're going to have to do something else. And then he, you know, throws the items at you that you need, which is real helpful. Whoop, let's run under that one. I just got whacked. And right there, you know, end of the level. defeated the boss. So there you go. That's how you beat the first boss. And once again, more cutscenes, which once again, at the end of the level, yeah, I'm okay with it. Now, let's just go ahead and we'll skip the cinematic here because I don't want to sit here and wait for it. And then this will actually bring us to our level select. So we have all of the classic levels to select from: the Moon, Himalayas, African Mines, Transylvania, Amazon, yada yada yada. And I believe that this will also let us do something that... Yes! Oh, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to do this when watching the show, and now you actually get the chance to. So, you know, nice little thing that they added in to make the game a little more enticing to the nostalgic crowd. Alright, so let's get back out of the money vault. And let's actually... I'm not entirely sure what that does, but let's actually exit the game here. Yes, that's fine. And I will show you one more thing. Hopefully that actually saves the cash that I earned. I think that it will. But we will show kind of the last little feature here. If we go into extras, and then we go into our gallery here, we can get... Yeah, as you can see up in the corner, I've got the cash left over from when I actually beat the level. And there's actually all of these different paintings and collectibles to unlock, which, you know, I see down here: TV show art, music. Those are the things I'm really, really interested in. But, you know, we can go in and we can buy character art as well. So let's see here. Let's just buy some character art so that we can take a look at it and see what kind of value we're actually getting here for playing through the game. So there you've got some Scrooge McDuck character art on the screen. As well, up in the corner, you can actually see his sprite from the original game. It's a nice little thing that they've added in there to make it, you know, tie everything back together. So, altogether, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, let's get one of the kids here. And once again, the sprites up at the top, very nice. So, like I say, all in all, like, it's not a bad game by any means. It's a good platformer, you know, it kind of retains the soul of the original game with the platforming style and how it plays. And like I say, my only complaint, and yes, I've been harping on it the entire video, is those cutscenes. But if you can get past that, there is a lot of fun to be had here, especially if you're a fan of the original title. So, with that being said, I have been your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and thank you for watching.